So I know a lot of you guys follow my YouTube page because of my turbocharged slant 6 dart that I have, or I should say had, because it's now got a 318. And I pulled all the drivetrain and everything out of the dart. I pulled the turbo slant, I pulled the HX35W, I pulled the 904 trans, the intercooler, the blow through carb that I made for it. I pulled all that so I could afford to build this. And I should have been filming YouTube, should have been doing the whole YouTube thing a long time ago while building this car, but I built this whole 75 Duster that I had as well with the 70 Dart that I have. But I felt like I needed to tell you a little bit about this car. I'm going to give you a little walkthrough. It is it's a 75 Plymouth. It's gone through a lot of changes. It was originally a slant 6 car. It had 904 in it, 7 1/4, drum brakes, small bolt pattern. Did not have a cage, but it originally had that collar interior, which was like a dark forest green. And I did keep that. I had that same stripe, except that it was white. It was originally a gold duster. I had the trim package, so I had pretty much all this trim that you see on the car. It was a half vinyl roof, so I had a half vinyl from here forward. I had these chrome things that were on the bottom here. So that's like some of the background of this car. It obviously is a 75 because it has this tail panel, which was a 1-year only car, but you had to get it on a car that had the trim package, which my car actually had the trim package. So that's a 75 thing. I had that all redone. So since y'all know the Dart, I still have it. I'll take a video of it. It's got 8 3/4 in it. It's got a QA1 carbon fiber drive shaft. It's got Caltrac mono leafs with the Caltrac bars. It's got QA1 shocks. It's got AEM fuel pump on it. It's got a fuel cell. It's got all Willwood brakes, disc brakes. I made all this. The mount for the parachute. This wing originally came from a Buick GS. It's one of 2 wings ever made for a Buick GS from this company. I got it and I modified it to fit my Duster. I had to move the pieces, these side pieces back. I also flattened them too because they came out like this. I flattened them, bent them in, and then drilled new holes and then pushed that whole piece back so it would fit the contour of the car. It also had these like pieces up here that I guess bolted to the other trunk lid on the Buick. I cut them off. I did the same thing over here. Moved everything back as it fits the contour of the car. And then these things here, they were bent for the Buick as well. These wing struts, and I had to bend them a little bit for it to fit the car as well. And I think I had to make this, I had to bend this to go on the trunk lid. So I bent this cage. It's a 1 5/8 inch. It's a 81 wall or 60. It's been a while now, but it's all chrome alloy. It's all TIG welded. I gotta touch it up, but it's a 12-point cage. I bent the cage goes into the back. The shock mount is actually part of the cage, which the trunk's kind of a pain to open up, but I don't know if you can see. I'll crawl under here real quick. There's the shock mount that I had made. And the bars, this bar here goes all the way through the frame rail into the other side of the frame rail on both sides, and I have the cage coming down to here, which you can see the plate. See the plate? I have them going down to the top of the frame rails. The bars that go from the hoop back to here, but then I got downrigger bars that go from the hoop bars down to the shock mount bars. So the shock mount is really rigid. All right, here I'll show you more of the parachute mount that I made. It ties in here. I put plates here, and I tied this into the plate. This is all chrome alloy too, and I bent these to fit the car, and then I welded that in, and that goes in to the parachute. My parachute is I can take it off if I wanted to. It's got 10 AN lines to the pump, and then it's got 8 AN lines to the regulator, which I'll get to in a minute. It goes to the Holley EFI that I have on it. I have Holley HP EFI on this. Just giving you a rough walkthrough on the car. It's got the 6.65 Pro Dash, and the little 3.5-inch Holley EFI screen as well. I gotta update both of them. I have not done that yet. I am kind of lazy when it comes to that stuff. It's got a performance or a precision performance shifter in it. I don't know if you can see that or not. So let me tell you a little bit about this. Oh, get back to the cage. So I ran the cage all the way up through here, up underneath the inner fender, and down through to the frame. Got red runner horn. Meep meep. So I'll show you another thing that I fabricated on it, which these awesome well, anyways, the word was there. My drive shaft loop, I made this too, which I'm trying to get you guys to see it. I made the drive shaft loop. I bent all that out of a piece of steel too. My subframe connectors is what I was thinking of. Made them. That was originally a boat trailer frame. Alright, now to the fun stuff. It's got QA1 all front end suspension. QA1 Gerst front end. It's a 408 stroker. It's got a 904 transmission that I built. I did not build the motor. Shady Dale, Ryan Johnson and Shady Dale built the motor. It's a 408. It's got Elderbrock Magnum heads that Ryan ported and polished. It's got an Indy intake that Ryan gasket matched and lightly ported this far up in the runner. It's got a little bit, it's got 202 valves, 163 exhaust, and it made 617 at the crank on his engine dyno. It's got a 904 in it with all pretty much A&A goodies. I got Ray Best's blue plates. I got 6 of them in the front drum. They were the thins. And it's got Kaolin steels. I got 4 blue plate Ray Best's clutches in the back, which are also thins, which they were thins from the factory. And it's got Kaolin steels, and it's an A&A valve body, manual valve body. It's close to 200 pounds of line pressure. It's got an R&R transmission, torque converter in it. It's a 4500 stall. I'm waiting for my new converter to come in for my because that converter ain't right for the setup. It's a 9.5 inch, and it don't leave. The car won't leave the line at the drag strip like it should. The new converter I'm getting from A&A Transmission, it has a it's an 8 inch and it's a 5200 stall. It's got JE pistons in it, Molinar crank, Molinar rods. It's got Hughes engines, rocker arms for the Magnums. They're 165s. It's got a bullet racing cam. It's custom ground. This radiator setup is pretty cool. It's a Performance Cooling Products radiator. That's their fan setup, and I have no issues keeping this engine cool at all. It's got 8 3/4 in it. Like I said again, it's got QA1 Gerst front end. I got from Carl and the guys from QA1, Rob's Garage. Thank you guys. This front end is so awesome. The car's been 1055 at 128. Well, 127.86 or something like that. And it's, but like I said, I can't get it to leave. It leaves the line at like 160 foot. It's one of the faster ones. Hopefully we can change that with the new converter. Yeah, I made this setup here with for the crankcase vapors. It's got TTI exhaust. It's got TTI headers down to this 3-inch exhaust that I all TIG welded myself into the neighbor heaters from Black Widow. This thing is a racket when it starts. Really sounds good. It's got Champion Cat 5 wheels, front and back. I had them custom made. Strange axles. It's got a strange lightweight spool. It's 391 gears in this thing. I'm rocking a 28 10-inch tire at the moment. I did some no prep last year, and it did really well. But I think, like, this thing pretty much dead hooks on the street, no problem. And I think it's because the car don't really leave that hard. If I get this thing to leave kind of hard, I don't know what it's going to do on no prep stuff. I mean, it leaves hard on the street. Scratches, just like any no prep car would do. Yeah, it probably runs almost just as fast on the street as it does the track at the moment. This hood was a Carlisle find that I took and actually made. Let me put this down real quick. That's a 6-pack hood. This thing fits perfect. I have like 500 hours in this thing. When I bought it at Carlisle, it was non-finished. It still had most of the mold, little wooden mold blocks that were on all the corners. I had to pretty much cut all that out. This was not even cut out yet. I got rid of the main support and 6-pack, and I supported the hole outside of the hood with an aluminum rod, and made it really rigid. I could pick the whole hood up just from that now, and I have no issues with this hood at all. It fits flawless, works really good. Transcooler, bent the lines that I bent myself. It's got Holley EFI on it, like I said. It's got the dual sync distributor. Let's see if I can show you guys there's the Holley box. I know it looks like a mess down there at the moment. Interior looks off pretty much factory. It's nice. Yeah, that's why I sold the turbo 6-cylinder. I'm sorry I don't have that car, or I don't have that engine anymore, but I still have the car, and I'm getting ready to do some work on that. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. Like I said, I'm gonna start doing this YouTube thing a little bit more. If you guys have any questions? All right, I'm out. Peace.